what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Eric from the Beemer Fam. Today we're going to see what it is like to drive a BMW E39 M5 in the rain. So as you can see around me, it's coming down with a slight drizzle. Nothing crazy, it's not downpouring or nothing, but this will be the perfect opportunity for me to show you guys how this car handles in the rain in terms of performance and just overall drivability. So we're just going to start right off into the car. It's a 2002 model. Right off bat, we're going to open up the power plant. Right here we have an S62, which is a 4.9 liter V8 from BMW. This is actually a bit of a race motor, pretty raw setup here from BMW back in the day. This car produces around 400 horsepower and 370 foot-pounds of torque. I just think it's a beautiful looking engine, to be honest. After closing that up, you guys will see we have the facelifted LED angel eye headlights. These are actually the first halos to go on any BMW car. I think it looks beautiful. Iconic design. Beautiful sleek profiling. Just overall lines of the car, she's very athletic is the best term I can put it. Same goes for the back. All the lines meet up at the end very well, and it just gives this car an overall classic, subtle but aggressive and sporty design. As you can see in the back, we got a muffler delete, so this car is opened up. It does sound really well. In the next few videos you guys will be seeing from me, I'm actually getting a new exhaust system set up on the car, so that's going to be unreal. Definitely subscribe if you're not already, and stay tuned for that. But as far as taillights go, we can see the E39 M5 actually back in the day, back in early 2000, did come with LED taillights as well. I think back in the day, I mean, this car was looking very futuristic. As far as the wheels go, these are the stock E39 M5 wheels. These are actually the only wheels that they offered on the car, and in my opinion, these may be the best looking BMW wheels from the factory of all time. Let me know what you guys think about these wheels. So before we get into things, make sure you go ahead and cop your Beemer Fam hoodies. They're $5 off right now. We got them in white and black. shopbeamerfam.com, link in description. We have the two-tone leather seats right here. This insert in the middle is actually referred to as ostrich leather. We move the hoodie, it carries on down in here as well. Also has the two-tone ostrich leather as well. We've got the sunshade package. We've got the one going in the back, and we have them on the sides as well. So as you can see, this is a very spacious car. Next thing to do on our list is to take it out, see how she drives in the rain. Alright, so before we start moving, we've got the 6-speed manual transmission, and yes, it does actually come with like the early, like the first generation of iDrive. You've got onboard computer, which gives you your fuel economy and, you know, gas assumption. Right now I'm getting around 16 miles a gallon in the city, which isn't bad actually for an M car. It's actually really good. Highway, I think I tend to get around 24, maybe 25 miles a gallon if I'm just babying the car. The sticker MPG on this car is quite reserved, so I think on the sticker it's 1321, so definitely keep that in mind if you're looking at getting this car. Over here we have our window switches right here, door handle, compartments where you can store things like I do, and right here on the side we also have a toggle switch where you can adjust your steering wheel height and distance. It's all electronic, which I think is great, especially for a 2002 car. We also have the nice brushed aluminum trim. Two-tone ostrich leather also carries on the door panel as well. Up here you have your garage opener, sunroof, Alcantara headliner as well, reading lights, nice and old school. You can actually upgrade these to the LEDs. That pretty much does it. In terms of down here, we have the sport mode button, DSC, park distance controls, actually parking sensors, and then those rear sunshades in the back. And we also have heated seats. So this car is pretty loaded. Only thing it really doesn't have is the M audio. But now we're gonna get rolling. So please excuse my windshield wipers. They don't normally stay up like this. This actually just started happening once it started raining, so I'm gonna have to get that sorted out. But first thing to note about the car in terms of how it drives is the clutch is very easy to engage. It's not intimidating at all because the torque is mainly down low. So you can pretty much just get the car rolling very easily, especially for your first time manual drivers. Speaking of torque, this car actually does really well in the rain and in the snow. Especially for this, you know, a sports car that it is, it's amazing. I've driven this car through 3 winters and it has done phenomenally. Yeah, there has been times where I've debated on getting it daily, but if you have any rear-wheel drive sports car, this one performs admirably, especially for the age of the car. It comes with traction control and ABS, so it pretty much gives you that peace of mind when driving the car. And really, with the right tires, this car really grips. I've ran Michelin Pilot Sport all seasons on this car, and honestly, when I got the tires brand new, I've done a full acceleration on the car when it was wet out, actually raining harder than it is now, and I slipped traction 0 times. And I went from, and that's in first and second gear, so not slipping traction in a very torquey car in the first 2 gears of the car is, to me, amazing, especially in the wet. So you can get an idea, if you have the right setup, this car will treat you right. So now we're going to get onto the power a little bit. We're going to turn sport mode on. Show you what it's like with traction control on. So yeah, the biggest thing about this car is that motor, the V8, man. It just sounds absolutely amazing. Now these cars do come pretty quiet stock. The mufflers actually weigh around 180 pounds, which is close to 200 pounds. So just off weight reduction alone, you're going to be getting a little power once you take the mufflers off and make the car sound a bit better. A lot of traction lights on the shifts. This car has a brand new clutch, new timing chains, and guides as well. So the car's got a lot of power back, and it's just putting it down really well. So this is really how the car is supposed to drive. In terms of the steering, it's nice and heavy, as you would expect from a BMW car. Comparing to the new BMW cars, this car actually handles very well. You can take this car in a really tight off-ramp loop at around 50, maybe 55 miles an hour. Sometimes I think I've done 60 miles an hour once, just around the corner without slipping traction or really even hearing the tire skirt at all. So you can get an idea for really how well this car handles, especially since this car isn't really that big compared to sedans of today's standards. So this car is quite small. If you put the right upgrades on the car, get that horsepower up, it's actually a really fast car, especially for the age. Can't stress that enough, and for the price. So now we're going to turn traction control off. I'm going to give you guys an idea of what it's like to accelerate in this car at lower gears in the rain. Now my tires, I do not have the most tread on my tires, so keep that in mind. These are not brand new tires, but they are still the Michelin Pilot Sport all seasons. So as you can see, it gets squirrely, especially at the top of first gear. It's actually almost impossible to get traction, especially when you try hooking in the second. You got to really know how to drive these kind of cars to recover from that, because the torque is absolutely massive. So it's an easy car to drive in the rain, but at the same time, it's not one of those cars. You got to have a good amount of experience when driving these cars. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn traction control back on, since I'm not really trying to die. Maybe we can get a little sideways action here in a minute. Man, yeah, the sound though, that is by far the most impressive thing about this car. Yeah, the sound and the styling go really hand in hand. Now, in terms of braking, the car does actually come stock with some decent brakes. They're not the best brakes, especially the brakes compared to today's brand new M cars, but you can definitely stop on a dime in this car. It's definitely not underpowered in terms. So yeah, as you can see, this car is very controllable once you lose traction. If you actually do, like I said before, if you know what you're doing behind the wheel of a car like this, it's probably the most fun car you can get today. Just the motor is just absolutely, it's just awake is the best term to use it. And it's very perky. This car has 400 horsepower on paper, but honestly, I've driven cars with 500 and 600 horsepower, and this car feels like it's up there. It's a different kind of power. You got that brute, naturally aspirated V8 power. There's no turbocharger. You don't have to wait for it to spool up. There's no supercharger. All the power is there, and that just enhances the overall feel of the car. And also, Now also, this car doesn't have too many driver assistance, so I mean, you've pretty much got the sport mode button, a few options here and there. You got the stuff you can play with the audio. You can adjust your levels and boost and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it in terms of technology. That's what I love about this car, and that's why, you know, it's hard for me to even think about selling the car, just because of how raw it is. It kind of gives you that sense of like you're driving a bit of a race car, especially with that soundtrack behind you. And I don't know if you guys can hear it as well. This car does crackle and burble, you know, when you do open up the mufflers. I can't wait to install the new exhaust system so we can see what that sounds like. But you do get some cool sounds in terms of pops and bangs from the back. They're quite random, but I would say around 2,000 to 3,000 RPMs is really when you get them the most. And if you full throttle it in first gear, up to around 4,000 RPMs, you can just get a whole bunch of popcorn crackles coming back down. So yeah, that's pretty much what it's like to drive a BMW E39 M5 in the rain. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to see footage on my car and my other brothers and my other family members' M cars as well, and other BMWs. Check us out on Instagram at Beemer Fam. Go ahead and get the brand new Beemer Fam merch, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.